Welcome to today's Research Business Daily Report, where we're going to review some of the political polling insights that emerged this past weekend at the AAPOR 71st Annual Conference that was held in Austin, Texas. And then an interesting announcement from two research industry associations. RBDR is sponsored today and this week by KL Communications. If your online community is feeling even a little bit stale, KL Communications has a novel suggestion for you. Inject new life into your existing community or a new online community that you can set up using the power of co-creation. We'll tell you how and why that can make a lot of sense for you at the end of today's report. In Austin, Texas this past weekend, AAPOR held its 71st annual convention. And reporting from there, Stephen Shepard, writing for Politico, called attention to several politically interesting findings from bits of polling research. There was a paper authored by Natalie Jackson, Janie Valencia, and Ariel Edwards-Levy, all from the Huffington Post. And they reported 355 national polls this year during the GOP and Democratic primaries. That's up 37% from 2012. Now, breaking it down is also interesting. There were 15% fewer live telephone interview polls. What makes it interesting? That these polls were described by the authors as the high-quality survey model in 2012, but apparently soaring live caller polling costs are cutting into its use. Online national polling, on the other hand, was up 257% this year versus 2012. Those numbers through April the 30th. And that's interesting because online polls have been taking a really bad beating around the world with all kinds of elections going on where pollsters have been missing the mark. The second aha finding was the nearly half of adults who are now living in wireless-only households here in the United States. That was reported by a government survey. And at the pace that this trend is going, by Election Day this year, the majority of adults in the United States will likely be living in wireless-only households. With pollsters limited in their mobile phone calling to hand dialing, and the sharply increased costs that incurs, election pollsters will find themselves in a quandary. Should they spend more money to reach hard-to-reach demographics on mobile phones, specifically thinking about Hispanics or younger Americans, or do online polling and risk missing the mark as they have in the past? Finding number 3 this weekend from SSRS and Chief Methodologist David Dutwin. He revealed that it takes more than 40 dialed landlines calls to complete an interview. Now, the good news is that there are fewer and fewer landlines in polling's future. The bad news is you're going to have to try to reach them with still costly mobile phone intercepts. Next, here's a fascinating partnership, I thought, between the Pharmaceutical Marketing Research Group and the Marketing Research Institute International that has been announced. The two groups say they're going to learn more about how the introduction of new research techniques are impacting the careers of research practitioners. This collaboration will pick up where an MRA Corporate Researcher Conference study left off. It had examined clients and suppliers' use of and attitudes towards 34 different research techniques, as well as how careers of clients and suppliers were being affected by implementation of those 34. It is very nice to deliver research industry and research career news like this that may have a short-term and a long-term lasting positive impact. That's your Research Business Daily Report. We've been sponsored today and this week by KL Communications. Is your online community feeling stale? Well, if so, it may be time to do something about it. 15 years into the life of online communities, taking optimum advantage of them these days requires staying updated with what needs to be done to keep them current. And KL Communications says that they're ready to help you freshen things up or do things correctly if you've never had an online community before. You can capture much more than the knowledge that can come from crowds. You can tap into implementable insights from crowds. And if you want to have some examples of companies that have done so, consider Delta Airlines, Time Inc., and Bacardi. who have tested and been very happy with their KL Communications co-creation experiences. So check out the blog that we are linking to. It's called 4 Tips for Successful Co-Creation. It will be worth your time. We hope you have a great research day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.